The dress code Princess Leonor can't break. The room is silent before she enters. Not because she demands it. Because the institution does. A pressed uniform, neutral colors, no excess, no deviation, every seam measured, every symbol approved, every choice already made. For Princess Leonor, clothing is not expression. It is instruction, it is rehearsal, it is obedience made visible. Before she ever speaks as sovereign, she is taught to appear as one. And appearance, in monarchies, is never cosmetic. It is constitutional. The dress code is not written in a single document. It lives across centuries. In court circulars, in military protocols, in the quiet understanding between the crown and the state it represents. National identity is woven into these rituals. What she wears tells Spain who is in the room, and who will one day remain when governments change. At first glance, it looks restrictive, controlled, outdated. That is the illusion, because the first lesson of power is not command. It is containment. Here is the first uncomfortable truth. The dress code is not about modesty, tradition, or optics. It is about erasure, not of her future, of her present. Until the institution is ready, there can be no personal signal. No improvisation, no visual ambiguity. The monarchy survives because it resists interpretation. 2 minutes in, and this is where most observers misunderstand what they are seeing. They think the rule exists to protect the monarchy from scandal. In reality, it protects the monarchy from relevance. Relevance fades. Continuity endures. Every uniform worn by the future head of state is a message to allies and adversaries alike. The system is intact. The line holds. There will be no rupture today. By the time she stands beside generals, presidents, and ministers, the code has already done its work. She blends into the institution instead of standing apart from it. And that is precisely the point. Because the moment she is allowed to choose freely is the moment she becomes politically legible. And political legibility is dangerous for a monarchy. At 5 minutes, the rule returns. Not because she would fail if she did, but because the system would. Behind closed doors, this discipline is studied carefully. In Washington, where optics signal stability. In London, where ritual is understood as power preservation. In Ottawa and Canberra, where the crown's symbolic coherence still matters. In Berlin, where constitutional restraint is respected more than spectacle. No one is fooled into thinking clothing governs nations. But everyone understands that nations collapse when symbols fracture. The deeper mystery is not what she is required to wear. It is what she is forbidden from showing. No political leanings. No emotional affiliations. No cultural experimentation. Everything is delayed. This is the living thread of continuity. What remains unspoken is more important than what is enforced. Because the dress code is only the visible edge of a larger system of control. Speech patterns are monitored. Gestures are coached. Posture is corrected. Reaction time is trained. By 8 minutes, the realization settles in quietly. There is no moment when the rule disappears. It only changes form. The public sees discipline. The institution sees readiness. And here, tension begins to accumulate. Because Spain is not static. Its politics shift. Its regions assert. Its alliances adapt. Yet the monarchy must remain visually unchanged. At 10 minutes, the strain becomes visible, though never acknowledged. A future queen is growing up in an age of instant expression. Social media, visual identity, individual branding, none of this is compatible with constitutional monarchy. The dress code becomes a firewall. It absorbs pressure so the institution does not have to. This is where insiders grow quiet. Because every generation tests the elasticity of the crown. At 14 minutes, the point of no return approaches. Once the rule is internalized, it no longer feels imposed. It becomes instinct, and instinct is harder to reverse than obedience. The danger is not rebellion. It is assimilation so complete that distinction disappears. At 19 minutes, the future threat emerges, safely, subtly. Not a scandal, not a protest, but irrelevance. If the rule holds too tightly, the monarchy risks fossilization. If it loosens too much, it risks fracture. There is no written solution to this. Only calibration, and calibration requires patience measured in decades. In diplomatic rooms, this balance is watched closely. Not because anyone doubts her discipline, but because discipline alone does not guarantee legitimacy. Legitimacy is renewed through continuity that still breathes. And so the final image returns to where it began. A uniform, neutral, precise, immovable, not yet, perhaps not ever, because before she wears the crown, she must wear the rule. And even then, the rule may still be wearing her. The institution is waiting. History is patient. And what comes next has not been decided.